What is up, guys? This is your boy Zilla, and welcome to today's episode as we'll be covering the co-main event of UFC 260, Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega. But before you do that, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell to get a notification every time I make a video. Let's get this because Brian Ortega has a very tough task ahead of him, having to handle one of the most durable, dynamic featherweights we have on the planet today, and that's Alexander Volkanovski, the wrestling prodigy, and a dude that was able to outstrike Max Holloway and get out a close decision against him. And when you look at how Max Holloway destroyed Brian Ortega and put him out the sport for pretty much a year and a half, it's easy to just come to a simple conclusion that, Alexander beats Holloway, Holloway beats Brian Ortega. But this matchup goes even deeper than that. And to highlight those different advantages and weaknesses, we're going to go into the fighter goals. What does each fighter need to do, and what is their strategy in order to win this championship fight? First, let's start off with the challenger, Brian Ortega. What does he have to do to win this extremely crazy matchup? I think for him, he's going to have to get in the clinch a lot more with Volkanovski. Him staying on his back foot and really trying to grab the distance from Volkanovski, it's going to be weird because Volkanovski has very strong punches. He likes to stick in and out. He likes to have a lot of strength, but I think Brian Ortega would more excel in the clinch. Even though Volkanovski has a lot of strength, he's going to want to try and get him in much different holds, get him in different positions, and try and move his way in and out, striking on the far end of his punches. And while Volkanovski tries to get inside, close the distance real fast to make sure he's not operating in that in-between zone that makes him so dangerous in the way that he beat Max Holloway. Plus, staying on the feet whenever he needs to and being able to defend, because we know Volkanovski's got to probably at some point take him on the fence. Try to be able to counter these different positions really fast is also going to help his chances, and maybe reverse into a takedown or a really good submission position, maybe on his back, that makes Volkanovski have to defend and use a lot of energy because he does have a smaller frame. So have him do that on the ground where you're not really too much at risk of being countered and ground and pound is definitely a key for Brian Ortega. But much of this is going to come from him having really good defense and reaction time, because Volkanovski is going to dictate what Brian Ortega has to react to. So that's what comes down to his reactions and being able to get himself in position to threaten the choke or the takedown is going to be key for Brian Ortega in this fight while staying in that middleweight position. And when we look at the champion, what does he need to do to retain his belt and extend his winning streak? And I think for Volkanovski, it's exactly the opposite of Brian Ortega. He needs to stick in that middle zone where he can take, Brian Ortega down without too much of a reaction to counter with a submission or stop it or reverse it and then get into a clamp up on the fence where Brian Ortega could start using his length to probably get away. He needs to stay in between, throw really hard shots, but most of all, nullify Brian Ortega's outside boxing game. If he can do that, there's really nothing truly that Brian Ortega can do unless he gets it up against him in clinch, which at that point is a 50-50 matchup. There's really nothing, I'm trying to think of something he could do, but if he gets nullified on the outside, right? If he gets in between, that's where Volkanovski wants him, where he can reach him with these strong punches. And even if Brian Ortega gets some volume, if he gets too loose with the hands, there goes a takedown. And once somebody of his frame gets taken down, Volkanovski's going to be able to overpower him. Now, will it be dangerous? Yes, but I think that he's going to be able to overpower him and nullify his different submission positions. So when we look at this matchup, it's going to be very interesting on how Brian Ortega reacts to the threats and different style of Alexander Volkanovski. But if I had to make a prediction, I think Alexander Volkanovski is going to win by somehow stopping the fight within 4 rounds. I think that the offense is really going to be curious for me what Brian Ortega is going to use to start jump starting his game, maybe going far outside, maybe mixing it with some leg kicks. But as far as an inside game, we've seen him deal with elite strikers like Max Holloway and come out on top. So it's going to be just so weird to see how Brian Ortega is going to mount any offense against him instead of constantly being on the defensive countering. So this has been the best Gojira and UFC news. Sign off, guys. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys later.